Good morning. Welcome everybody to a wonderful Deep Seek Monday.
Oh
All
my God,
right.
Deep Seek Monday. That's hilarious.
Good
I
times.
tried the Deep Seek. At first, I was impressed by it, and then I tried it on Saturday, and it was like really cool. And then I tried to do it last night, and I couldn't use it at all because I guess their servers were overwhelmed or something.
Yeah, but if you want censored AI, then DeepSeek is the way to go. So,
Yeah,
like,
right. It's
that's
not.
one thing. That's one
Yeah,
thing you don't want for AI is censored AI. So,
no.
I don't think the Chinese are ever going to have a forefront in that unless they just stop censoring stuff.
Yeah, it's like what's the? I don't know. You got to figure out where their line is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If you censor anything, then it just makes everything kind of suspect.
Yeah, it's not the truth, right? And AI is about compounding events of truth, and can't
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah, if you want to be able to extrapolate meaningful projections, then you're going to need meaningful, adulterated data going in.
Yeah, that is correct. All right, so let's just jump into it to the SPY. So scary Monday, but let's take a look at what's really developing pre-market. And this little orange dotted line is right there at 595, which is still above the 1.618585, and also the conversion line. So is this really that scary? No, it's not scary at all. It's just maybe going to open up and maybe perhaps backtest the 593 below the conversion line or wick below it. So for those that think it's all over, no, this is so far just another one of those back tests after breaking out into all-time highs last week. So they want to shake people out more and more and more. And QQQ, how's the damage on this one? Well, we're going to look at a couple things. So it is getting below the conversion line there, but you got the 504 support right below on linear scale, and even on log scale, you got the 497, which still has never been touched, which was a perfect resistance in the past. So this is still well above all support levels as well. No panic on that end. And IWM, how is this one looking? Well, look at that pre-market. It's still above that 786. Wow, who would have thought that the IWM would still be above that pre-market after you saw the futures so red last night? So that is still a good thing. Let's see if that can hold throughout the week. And now let's check out the SMH. See how much damage that is taking, and price is coming back down to the cloud. So the goal was always to stay above this 25599 because it did finally close a couple weeks in a row above it, but it looks like it is gapping down this morning to go back to this range that it's been in for months. It's been in this range for months, really, ever since it kind of broke out from September of 2024. It's just been in this 240 to 260 range, 240 to 260, 240 to 260. So really the range has not changed. So this is not concerning at all. It's not doing anything except going sideways for months and months and months. So I think if it does go a little bit lower throughout the week, then that could be a great opportunity for all the semis, NVIDIA, AMD, and such.
Oh yeah, I'm still looking for AMD to spring up for the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, just remember that my brain this morning. Just remember the beginnings of weeks and months. The very first day, they love to do this now. They just love to run it super contrary to shake everyone out. But then, like by the end of the week, everything's fine again. So that's what they're doing. This it's the beginning of the week again, so they can do anything they want with the opening candle, wick it all the way down or whatever, and then by the end of the week, everything's fine again. It's a big earnings week, so not just Tesla, but tech in general. So I'm. Can I show Tesla now? Since I'm talking about this now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
we can show Tesla, we can show AMD, NVIDIA, all that stuff. Let's go.
so I was telling people this morning. I just did a quick tweet. It looks to me like it's ready to do one of those island reversals. Now you saw one of these happen back before, and the price has gapped down. Now you got this island, And these are 15-minute candlesticks. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. It could hang out here right into earnings. It's like form like a little island where everything just looks so bearish. Maybe even with that wick down here, it doesn't have to go all the way down there, but it could just go like halfway down and then come back up again. And then, even so, I'm expecting earnings to surprise to the upside and have like a matching gap up and then just take off. Now, if I'm wrong, price can still just stay on this island for a while, not filling this gap, keeping a gap, and then finally, when it's ready to, it does uh, close the island reversal and go to the upside. So, you know, number one observation: I'm not looking forward to close this gap this morning or any time today, or even any time before earnings. I would like to see it close the gap after release of earnings, and if not, just keep it in mind as a buying opportunity to add more before it does finally fill that gap and boom higher. Because I'm still looking for 7-Eleven by July 18th of this year. All right, Matt, anywhere you want to take it from here?
All right. Well, here is what I mentioned on my weekly update on Friday. I was talking about watching the daily cloud. So price is going to open up right above the 50-day moving average, it looks like, and underneath the cloud. So my I didn't even mention the 50-day, but this is still been a pretty solid support, and it hasn't even touched it once. So it does have potential to hold here, and that's at 391.22. And I guess it did wick through at pre-market, but not during the day. So, but what I mentioned is if today, tomorrow gets kind of stuck underneath the cloud, then that could be just a sign that maybe it wants to go touch the bottom of the cloud first before it wants to go higher, and that's in the 350s, guys. So I think that is something that I need to put on the table now, just simply because that it's stuck under some resistance. And let's see if it actually can get above the cloud before earnings. If so, then it can just do what Palantir did and what Tracker said, maybe just go higher. But if it gets stuck underneath there, I think it just might roll over down here, just full out, and then go one last low before going high. So I think 350s,
And
360s could be the target.
on your chart before you leave there, if you could just back up down to like November of last year, you can see that last island reversal we had.
Yeah, I can see
right
that.
there from the October. Yeah, right there. That's the last time we had an island reversal. I think we're going to see that again.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very possible.
That's my prediction.
I'm not counting it out, especially since it's still holding the 50-day moving average, but we'll see. We'll see how price behaves the next couple of days, and I think that's going to dictate what really is going to happen. So for me, I'm still a little bit cautious, and nothing has changed since my weekly update video, just because how this weekly candle closed, right? It closed below the conversion line, and now it's gapping down from the conversion line. So this means it could want to test lower lows, even make a lower low than before the 370s and go a little bit lower. I'm not saying it needs to go to the 335, but them confluence in this 350 zone down here. So down here, 350 zone. So we'll see. I mean, either way, if it bounces and just goes higher, that's fine. If it comes back down and retests support, that's fine too, because all of this is a very nice bull trend. All of it. Like, people that can't see from October to anywhere in this zone how bullish that really is, then I think they are the people that bought the most recent tops. But yeah, it's a bull trend. But we'll see. We'll get direction this week, and I still think it's very possible to go lower before higher again.
Indeed. All right. Yeah, and here's a Logan saying being cash poor sucks this morning. And yeah, that's what I keep telling everyone that's following me. You always want to have some cash on hand for opportunities like this. You never know when they're going to strike.
Yeah.
But when they're plain, it's plain as day. It's like, oh, this is a buying opportunity.
Yeah. And I bought SoFi this morning at 1540, just to let everybody know. I saw that opportunity and I was gonna jump on it. So that is one opportunity that is great. And I think SoFi kind of recovered a little bit. Let's see, before I jump onto NVIDIA. Yeah, it's at 1672 pre-market, and I got it down in the 15s, right down here near the 50-day moving average. Nice little back test there. Yeah, so that was a great buy so far. So far. All right, Nvidia. So Nvidia, we're checking out the daily chart, or I am at least first, and it's gapping below all these averages. So, does this mean that the 200-day moving average finally wants to get touched? Does that what that finally means? I think it might be. So, for me, I'm holding off on buying any NVDL until I see maybe a touch of this 200-day moving average. So 121, which kind of lines up with the green level of my GAN, which is also 121. It's perfect. It's a perfect match. So you can actually see it better on this chart here. This green line, it's been a support ever since it broke out. So a back test of that zone. It's also the baseline too. So guess what? Nvidia, if it gets to 121, 122, I'm going to be buying a lot of NVDL, whatever that price equivalent is. So just to let people know, you don't have to join my Patreon for that. That is what I'm going to be doing. It's going to be beautiful, and I think that's going to set up perfectly for a launch towards all-time highs in the future. So I know something like the way things are setting up, it's going to be much, much higher in 6 months. And I think NVIDIA is going to be a beneficiary of that in the next 6 months. So yeah, NVIDIA, it's gorgeous down here, but I want a little bit more pain. I want just a little bit more because that zone has so much confluence. Baseline, green level again, 200-day moving average, just so much confluence. So I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
Yep, same here. Maybe we'll get some deep deep testing.
Yeah, like this is not scary for me. Like I wake up on days like this, I'm like, oh, what can I buy? And then when I saw SoFi in the 15s, I'm like, yes, please. I want that. So yeah, it's just stuff like that. And Palantir, we can just look at Palantir as well. And what's wrong with that one? Nothing, right? It's going back down to the baseline, the conversion line, the top on the daily chart. So this is all still the same range as last week, really, and it's just doing a back test. And also, I saw a wick down to like our zone, which is pretty much the 69.15, the 1.618, right? It went down almost there again to do a back test. So it looks like 69 is going to be the floor for Palantir, even though it did go a little bit below. That's just a liquidity grab to get all that liquidity underneath before sending it higher. So I'm really liking 69.15. If it ever went back down there, I think that's the opportunity for a lot of people. So with that said, Tracker.
Let's see. Where am I gonna go next? Let's look at the requests here. Let's do SMLR. More scientific.
Oh yeah, I see. Nvidia did hit 122 in the morning, but I was sleeping, so I didn't see that. So it doesn't count.
It doesn't count. That's right. Similar scientific. It doesn't have any changes on the overall larger degree chart that I've got from the beginning of time, $1.12 low, to this 153.21 high, and then back to this $19.12 low. It's just working on this wave sub 1 of 3. So my target for it is 113.11 next, then back to 55.01. What it's done so far, actually, this is a possibility, actually. Sometimes it'll go 382, and then boom. And since it's taken this long to get here, let's just go ahead and predict that. 382, it went a little lower than 236, but then next would be the 1236, which hasn't changed, actually. So let's just call this possibly done. This possibly done. So my next target is actually 207.10 now. So it won't necessarily stop at the 764 or the 618. It'll just kind of have some resistance there. You can see a sell order block here between 135 and 155, and then just let it keep going. So yeah, this has got a big potential upside. 272% higher from where it is now. Actually, yeah, from where it is right now. An 8-hour chart even. Yeah, like even in pre-market, it didn't. It's actually held up since Monday's low. So yeah, it looks good. Looks good to me from here. MicroStrategy, MSTR. I like it. I've got a big position in MSTX, and I'll hold it as long as I need to. Again, I see that all-time high that we hit, and then the highest low it hit after that is just a giant 1-2. And so my next target is 697 for the wave 3 sub 1. And of course, inside of that, it'll have smaller 5 waves up, and it's working on it. It's just getting a little bit of a taking some time, a little false start. So yeah, no, just give MicroStrategy some time. I want to point out too, Tesla chart. Oh, here's the max pain for the week. Max pain right now this morning is calculated to be 405 for the end of the week. But see how Tesla and Bitcoin actually move very similarly. Sometimes you see the same liquidity grabs that happen in one will happen in the other as well. So it's like here's the range that Bitcoin's been going in, and see how it like was looking pretty good, and then it dropped off, just like Tesla. It was looking pretty good, and then dropped off. So just watch the two of them together. I am expecting Bitcoin to roar on up here. This is the wrong Bitcoin chart. This is the one I want to show you. I had sort of set this blue box up again. I think some of you guys might remember this from last week. I was looking for this range to sort of be a pivotal testing range. And as soon as it hit the beginning of that blue box, it dropped down. It even wicked down to moving average 75 on the daily chart, which is very bullish that it touched it and came back up again in my book. So look for price to go sideways for a little while. And then eventually, once we get out of this zone, which must have something to do with I can't remember why I drew this box where I drew it, but give it a little bit of time, and Bitcoin will be testing 110,000 before you know it. Like every time it just wicks up, it was 108,000, 109,000, next time it'll be 110,000. And if it can just find some support down here at 108,000 on the flip side, then we'll be good. That's it. That's all I got to say about that.
All right. Yeah, I'll do my MicroStrategy and coin. I see. So here's my MSTR, and I have this 1.414 fib extension as a support zone. So it is 341. There, it did wick below pre-market down into the 320s, I believe, which was basically still a higher low in from all of these. But my real focus for the whole week is really just trying to stay above this 340, right? Because something that is spending the majority of the time on top of and just a liquidity grab underneath. And if it continues to stay the majority of the time on top of this 340, then that'll build a nice base to eventually go higher. So I'm not too concerning about that just yet. And yeah, it is the beginning of the week. So sure, can it wick below during the week and then finish off the week strong? Sure, it could, right? But 340 for Friday, weekly candle, really what I'm targeting for MicroStrategy. And for Coinbase here, we can go to check that one out. And how's that one developing on the weekly chart? And we can see it closed the week back above the conversion line there. And now it's coming back down to the 280s again. So scary. So now we'll have to switch to the daily chart to see what's really going on. And yeah, it's basically going below the 50-day moving average again. And the baseline is right below at 283. So this is still just stuck in the daily cloud. No surprise. So it's just range bound, right? Range bound, and the 318 is basically the top of the daily cloud, and the bottom of here is all support. And it already retested the bottom of the cloud, so it's not necessary to go down there again. So we'll look for 283 down to like 275 as your support zone. And I think this is still a good development for eventually breaking through the 318 and going to all-time highs. Like nothing has really changed my thesis on either of these. And in regards to Bitcoin, what did we see? This opened up above this 102. Last night it closed below this 103,611. It was kind of looked super manipulated. How it was like 104, 105 the whole day, and then just like the last hour, they sent it lower to close below the 103. But they did close above the linear scale fib, right? The 102.076, and even opened a new candle above it. So that's interesting. I'll keep my eye on that 102.076. And they sent it below the conversion line to the 99.260, went down to 97.750, got all that liquidity underneath, and it's still holding that as weekly support. So Even if it did go below that, guess what? It's still just in the same range as it has been since November, right? Resistance, support, and like nothing has changed at all. But the good news is it's still above the conversion line, so we'll just look to that 99,260 as support. And if that holds as support, then that's a good thing for MicroStrategy and Coinbase as well.
Let's see.
Let's see here. Yeah.
We do TSL real quick. Oh, no, go ahead.
No, yeah,
You
go
do
ahead.
your thing. Uh, TSLL. Let's see how this chart is doing. Basically, after hitting 5 waves up and then 3 waves down and hitting a low of 2336, it wicked down but didn't make a new lower low. So basically, all this did is it went a little bit up and then came back over and sideways. It's just an extended wider flat kind of this without making a new lower low, which is still bullish. So I mean, it still can go to 49.67, 49.68 is what I'm looking for the next major resistance for TSLL. You'll just have to wait and see it to believe it. But that's what my technical analysis projects. Just a quick look at Tiger. Nobody asked for this, but I'm following this one. Same thing.
No,
So
somebody asked for it.
after
Scott did. Scott asked for it. Yeah.
Oh, did they? Oh, great. I didn't. After a big wick up to 1498 and then test back down to 535, it hasn't made a new lower low than 535, so it is going to trend up higher. And my TA for this is a target of 1425 next. Possibly it could ABC up higher, but let's just see if we can get to 1425 next. And you can see already there is a big sell order block waiting to catch price in that zone with resistance on the way all the way up from here to there. Once it breaks over 984, this part could go really fast. So yeah, I like Tiger still too. And I guess I might as well, if I'm doing that, I might as well show AMC. Not AMC, GME, the other one, the other white meat. GME GameStop still hasn't made a new lower low. It's nothing but higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So, we're good. It's still inching its way up. Again, 44.33 should be a big resistance, but then once it breaks through, it should touch 71.09 and then back to 44.33. All right, back to you, Matt.
All right, yeah, XRP. So I know people asked about it. So I did make a post yesterday about how it's spending more time recently on top of this 2.272 Fibonacci extension level at 309. But it's interesting. So even though it's spending more time on top, look what happened last Sunday too. For the weekly candle close, they found below that line. So you don't have any weekly candle closes above that 2.272, but it is on the daily chart spending more time on top recently than underneath. So they sent it down last Sunday underneath. Weird. And they did it again last night. Weird. So what did price really want to do today? So the 280 was the baseline on the daily chart. It did wick below. The 253 is the 50-day moving average. Still has never touched it once. I mean, that's a pretty bullish chart if it hasn't even touched the 50-day moving average in that amount of time since November. That's super bullish. And the weekly chart, what did it do? It did exactly the conversion line. So not exactly, almost exactly, depending on the exchange, I guess. But on Bitstamp, 2.64955, and it went down to 2.65. So it missed it by a fraction. But I think on some exchanges it did hit that. So yeah, it just back tested the conversion line for the first time since it broke out in November of 2024. So that's actually not a bearish thing at all. And I am watching that 2.272 like a hawk just to see if they do want to eventually close the week above it. Because if they do, it's going to be great. But so far, that's your support zone right here. And nice little bounce. Will it go back down there? We don't know, right? The 50-day base, our 50-day moving average is still there at 254, so that is possible. But also, it could just keep on going higher and trying to meet up with price later on in time. So we don't know. But still, nothing has changed with this one. I like this chart a lot, and very, very bullish. It's still one of the most bullish charts in all of crypto. Right, meow.
Yeah. And just remember, the longer it goes sideways, the bigger the move when it does go up.
Yeah. I'll do
It's been
HBAR
going.
too.
It's been going.
I see an
Okay.
HBAR request. Let me just pull up HBAR. So yeah, HBAR. We can take a look at the daily chart too, and this one did and retest the 50-day moving average and the cloud and the orange level of my GAN. So multiple levels back tested. Did break below the 786, but again, it's been spending more time on top of it than below it. So I'm curious to see how the finish up, if it can actually close back above 32 cents or not today, or if it wants to spend a few days down underneath and then finally reclaim it. But when you look at a weekly chart here, this is beautiful. It also went through the baseline, or sorry, the conversion line. It's still right around that current price as well. But this is the orange line here. This is really nice, right? It's just breakout, and it's trying to hold it as support. So another really bullish chart, HBAR, and I think it just needs a little bit more time to break above, because even if it does stay above the 786, it still has a lot of resistance with this arc, the 886 up here, and the top arc. So it's going to take more time, I think, to break above, but this is a great development for HBAR.
See, I do have INTC up, and to answer Kim Kitty's question, I do like ConL over Coin, and I do like MSTX over MicroStrategy, just because in the long run they're going to make more gains for me, despite the slight hit that the ETFs take during sideways action. Eventually, it's going to go up really big, and then I'll be super happy. Here's Intel. After hitting an all-time low of 1851, it has not made a new lower low than what it did right here on January 14th. Looks like I haven't looked at this chart in a while, but that's where it made a higher high and then a higher low than there. And so the 618 is now at 2362 is where I'm looking for this to go next. And then this come here, you. $20.59 is going to be support when it comes back. So yeah, this is just like an AB on the way to the 1-2 of wave 3. So just kind of, I don't know, take a screenshot of this if you want. So get rid of this. Something like that. It's either an ABC, which it doesn't look like it's doing right now. So like the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the wave 5 takes it to about 36.44 now. 36.44. Oh, my numlock didn't come back on. There you go. So watch for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. The ABC is possible, but it doesn't seem to be going that way right now. So watch for that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's all I got for INTC. I haven't bought it because I like AMD better, and that's all there is to that. I'll be buying some more AMD this morning, I think. Wow, it's 8:59. What shall we do next?
Let's see. Let's see.
I guess I could do. I mentioned AMD, so I'll put
Yeah, go ahead and
AMD
pull that
chart
up.
up. Let's see here. Oh wait, so if I go back to INTC, just to show you why I like one better than the other one, right? Let's see. If Intel goes from here to the wave 3 top, all of wave 3 is about 35% higher. Why do I have AMC on the brain today? AMD. Well, the wave 3 top for this is actually a smaller. Do we wave 3 top? I want the bigger wave 3 top. Oh, that's too big. But still, from where price is right now, just to this wave 3 top. No, that's not right. let's go to this larger degree wave one top. That's 56% higher. So I just like the return potentials IMD better. Chart will give me a better look here. So here's my weekly longer term chart. So after hitting this high of 164 back to $54, and it went to the 100% back to the 382. So I'm still looking for the 1382 next, 279.63. And what I've been trying to do is chart the 5 waves between here and 280. So here on an 8-hour chart, oops. Oh, no, that one's too big and too small. Here it is. So I'm looking for 184 back to 158, 227 back to 203. That's probably still too big to be super useful for most of you guys, but that gets it to 280 in 5 waves up. And I guess I was trying to do an even smaller version. Maybe on a 4-hour chart. And there we go. And except it broke it because now we're back down here. So this wave 2 it had a nice start and it fell back over, and now we're back to it's still a higher high, but it's going to make everything take longer. This is why I tell people, I can predict my next price targets overall that it's going to hit, but timing's hard because the market always finds different ways to make things take longer. In this case, an extended wider of this wave 2. But it's just more buying opportunities, as the market always gives us more opportunities to buy. All right, back to you, Matt.
Yeah, and the 200-week moving average for AMD is still like 115 something, so that is still above support. And if it ever went down there, I think that's a great opportunity again. Let me just do a ETH A for somebody that requested it. So yeah, here's my ETH A. And we can see on the daily chart, it doesn't have that much history. So all we really need is to see what really is happening within the cloud and also the 100-day moving average right here. And it already hit that 100 at 22.65 on the 13th of January. So it is kind of in the middle of that range. So it is possible to go back down there. And that is 22.65. So I actually think it's kind of near that support and don't really think it needs to go below that number. So if it does get back there, that could be a pretty good opportunity. But this could be just another one of these quick liquidity grabs and maybe have a nice bounce back inside the cloud. So let's see if things do want to continue down a little bit lower to this 22.65 before going higher once again. And do ADA, since it's another crypto related thing. ADA, when I look at this chart too, all I see was a clear rejection of resistance here for the past couple of days on the daily chart. Right, it got rejected multiple days in a row by the 50-day moving average, and it lost this angle, and then it started losing the clouds. But all the target might be the whole time is this 100-day moving average, kind of like what ETH A was just there, and that's at 83.8. And it's still within the same range as it has been since it broke out, right? It broke out in November. It's been the 618 has been resistance, the 112, and this 50% has been support, really. And it did already wick through once, and so it doesn't really need to go there again, but it can come back down to retest the 83.8. So there's really no, actually, before I go to other charts, I just want to show you what's happening to the others chart. It's hitting the 100-day moving right now, right? The others is the altcoin markets. And so this is basically normal behavior, wicking through the 100-day moving average, getting that liquidity below, still around the 786 to 324. So nothing really negative is developing in crypto at all. This is looking just like a normal retest of support on the daily charts.
Right now I'm trying to do a retrace for NNE. Looks like it's going to get a high B. So what's happened here is NNE. Let me just get rid of these because they're not right now. NNE did top out at $48.11. I called that top. I told all my subscribers that I was getting out of NNE, and I think SMR, if you had that, just energy was just taking a little bit of uh, a bit of a hit there. I guess a lot of other things did too, though, haven't they? So from 36.13 was the A wave. I think you get a high B somewhere between 21.4% and 11.4%. Let's just say about $44, 44 ish. And then it's got to make a lower C. So let's say the 786, maybe even the 88.6. Yeah, let's just call that. Let's say 30 ish for down here. So there's another trading opportunity here. It can't just keep dropping forever. And you can see there's even a gap right here. Well, it's hard to see in my stupid fold-up chart, but there's a gap right there. So I think after bouncing off this moving average 75, we'll come up back high and then back way low. And then that'll form a larger degree, wave one, wave two, that will get, it'll just keep building N and E. I do like the, I like small scale nuclear reactors. I think it's definitely become a part of the energy future. So yeah, that's it. I like N and E. Just like I said, look for a bump up to 44-ish, down to 30-ish, and then start buying it again in the 30s. And it's going to go higher after that. Once it does hit the bottom, I can tell you where I think it's going exactly. That's all I got to say about N and E. Oh, QSI. 9:07 a.m. QSI's got a scary looking, but it's still after this retrace from 634. No, from 577. It made a higher high and a higher low, and now it's going sideways before it recovers again. I still like these QS tickers, no matter what they do. QS and QSI, I'm still bullish on them. So let's see. Trying to figure out what to do. Let's get rid of this and this, and I'll just show from right here. If it doesn't make a lower low, 577. There we go. If it doesn't make a lower low than $1.77, then I expect it to want to go to $5.66 next. Something like 764, 382, 1382, 100%, and then 2382, which is just a little bit lower than my original projection, but there you go. Let's get rid of all these and just say right here, $5.71 next, which will give it a slightly higher high than, no, slightly lower low than the previous high, 577, then back to test for support around 372. All right, Matt. What else you got? Is it time to say goodbye?
It's time for me to run away.
All right. Run away, Matt.
Gotta run.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta disappear. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow, and I think we're gonna do the Triumvirate show tomorrow as well.
Yes, that'll be fun. So Matt's going to do his Patreon. You can subscribe to his Patreon and get more Matt. And I'm going to go do my show for my subscribers. You can subscribe to me on X. It's only $2 a month right now. Yeah, I'm going to cover some live Tesla and do some other charts. And maybe a little education.
Yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have a great day, Matt.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.